Hey y'all, this is Evan with Backwoods Adventure Mods. Today we're going to do an installation on our Driftr series modular roof rack and ladder for the 14 current Sprinter high roof. This is a 170 EXT, so it's going to be the longest rack that we make. We've already got it broken down and unboxed. This is what you'll see. Depending on the length of the van, you'll have a certain number of side pieces, a front fairing and a rear panel, connector brackets, and all the extrusions to connect them together. You'll also have several bags of hardware as well. This rack's designed to go directly onto the OEM roof rail. If you don't have the roof track or the roof rail, there are aftermarket options available. So what sets this apart from our other roof rack is the HD style, as we call it, is a fully decked surface. It's really heavy duty, but the downside is you have to plan your build in advance. This is really lightweight, it's modular, it ships in a smaller package, and it's pretty much a one-person install. So if you have kind of a crazy roof setup with vents everywhere, or maybe you don't know what you want to put up top yet, this is going to be the rack for you. This is a pretty simple install as far as tools needed and what's included. 7/16 wrench and socket, 9/16 socket, and a 5/32 Allen or hex tool. You'll see us using an impact a lot in the video. I've got it on a low setting. That's just to get everything started. I'm going to go back through when we're done and tighten these down by hand. So just a note about that. We're going to start by using one of the extrusions, one of the crossbars, as a brace for the fairing. So you'll get some of these little slide nuts that go in the track of the extrusions. And we just want to roughly line those up with the holes in the fairing. There's no specific order to do this. I'm going to start with this front side piece and bolt it down to the OEM roof track, just kind of loosely because we need to be able to move it all around until we're done adjusting it. And then we'll throw in a crossbar to kind of hold it in place, and then we'll work our way down the van. You'll notice that there are multiple holes in most of these. That's because some of these pieces are used on our Transit and Promaster racks. I'm just going to use 2 bolts per section, so I'll use this one and this one. So I try to use the extrusion where 2 pieces come together. If you can't, we have these connector brackets for the top and bottom. In any case, at least use them on the bottom even if you have extrusion at the top. So I'm going to bolt it to the back side of these 2 holes. Okay, this is the only part that I would say is definitely a 2-person job, because with the extrusion in there, it's kind of heavy and it's just an awkward spot to be. Okay, we've got most of the side sections on, some of the crossbars, enough to hold it together. The whole rack's still loose, that way we can adjust it. Last main piece to go in is the rear panel. Okay, as I said earlier, we left all the bolts just kind of loose so we can adjust it. We have all the pieces on, the crossbars where we want them. We stood back, kind of looked at it. We like the adjustment, so now dude's gonna tighten down the rest of the bolts. Next, we're gonna install our ladder. We got rained out yesterday, so we're back today to install the ladder. Now we have a full ladder installation video, so I've got this pre-assembled here loosely, just like in the video, nothing's tightened down yet. The only difference is the top section. So these ladders are modular. We've got different top sections that allow you to use this ladder on different roof racks or with no roof rack. So this is our Driftr series top section. So with the ladder fully assembled but none of the bolts tight, we're gonna start by marking our location. In this case, I want it as far back as I can get it without overlapping these connector bolts. So I'm gonna put it up there, get a measurement, and drill the 4 holes to bolt it into the roof rack. All right, so with a helper, hold the bottom up so you're not having to hold the weight of the ladder, and you want the top of the top section flush with the top of the roof rack. So I've got it right where I want it. I'm gonna mark the 4 holes. Cool. Now I'm gonna drill these holes out with a 1/4-inch drill bit. We're using 1/4-inch hardware, and I don't want a lot of play or adjustability in these, so I'm gonna use the exact size bit. The ladder hardware kit comes with some stainless black oxide 1/4-inch hardware. For the top, you want to go ahead and use the carriage bolts. You'll notice there's square holes in the top section. Okay, with the top buttoned up, I'm using this body seam as a guide. I'm going to make the ladder parallel with this body seam. Of course, I'm going to stand back and take a look at it too, because how it looks from a distance is more important than the measurement. But for now, I'm going to get a measurement from this body seam over to the ladder. We're at 5.5 inches, so I know how to measure it off the bottom and get it parallel. We've verified that our measurement of 5.5 inches from here to the ladder looks good from a distance. So I'm going to make a mark on the bottom pinch weld where the edge of my bracket is, so I can crawl under there, lift it into place, and mark the 4 holes. If you're working by yourself, you may want to take this back off so it's out of your way. The nice part about having a helper though is they can pull it out of the way just a little bit while I drill. A couple of things I forgot to mention. Same 1/4-inch hardware, same 1/4-inch drill bit for the bottom. And since the holes are slotted vertically, you don't have to worry too much if you're drilling in the right place vertically. It's the side to side that really matters. So now we're gonna bolt it in. We just drilled through the pinch weld. We have this backing plate that kind of acts as just extra security since we're just going through the pinch weld. And from the hardware kit, these should be the last bolts you have left, but we're gonna use the black stainless hex head bolts. So I'm gonna lift the ladder into place, put the bolts through, and I'll put the backing plate on last. There it is. I'm just gonna get a nut stuck on it for now so it holds it in place. All right, we've got the bottom tightened down, top tightened down, so now we're gonna go through, pull this ladder out to kind of where we like it. It's just, I'm gonna pull it out a few inches from the van so it kind of follows the curve. I'm gonna tighten down the middle bolts, the top bolts, and then the bottom bolts. That's got it buttoned up. This is the Driftr roof rack for the 14 to current Sprinter high roof. It's the modular version. This ladder is the same as the ladder for the other roof rack and the same as the ladder for no roof rack with just a different top section. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to us at backwoodsadventuremods.com.